Well, good evening, Raider Nation. My name is Brent Johnson, along with Mr. Joe Hayes, and we are broadcasting live from Red Raider Field on the NFHS Network, powered by Play on Sports, but brought to you by BCTV's Red Raider Broadcasting. Again, my name is Brent Johnson. I'm along with Carson Taylor tonight. Austin Rollerson are helping us produce this scrimmage game broadcast versus Brantley County. I want to welcome Mr. Joe Hayes, who is a household name here at Bacon County. Specifically with football, but a lot of other athletic things that he supports and is a part of here at Bacon County High School, and we're just glad to have him on the horn tonight. We're going to do our best. We'll go ahead and admit we're not professionals, Joe.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there. But again, appreciate you being on the show.
Well, Brent, I am glad to be here. This is my favorite time of the year, Red Raider football. I mean, what more needs to be said?
You know, I'm a school teacher, and you know, during the summertime, you know, we're enjoying our time off, and one thing that motivates me to come back is football.
Absolutely.
And it's Red Raider football. Couple weekends we'll be watching the Dogs play. And that kind of excites people, but it really is something special about Friday Night Lights.
Absolutely, and you know, there's really no other sport. Even my son, you know, he went off and played some college baseball, but he here just a few weeks ago, he and I were in the truck riding, and he said, "Daddy, there's just something that I miss. There's nothing like Friday Night Lights." And you know, in Alma, Georgia, it's really special. Our community. There's just so much pride revolving around our Red Raider program.
And now that you mentioned that, Joe, we got a few minutes here before the players are going to do a Raider walk. And you mentioned our community and the excitement that's been generated. You know, a lot of times when we do have a brand new head coach, we'll talk more about him as the game progresses and his staff. But as a community, you know, we lose a coach that we got close to. You know, you guys been around for 3 years like Kyle Langford, and we wish him the best at where he's at. And but, you know, life has to go on, and we got Coach Keith Goss here and his staff. And how's our community responded, Joe?
It's been really well, Brent. You know, I am willing to wager that and stack our program against any program around us, whether it's Jeff Davis, Appleton, Pierce County. Bacon County, Alma, Georgia rallies around our football program, and the support they give is just unbelievable. Every year it just, you know, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it, Brent, just how much it means to our community. And you know, these kids work hard. They put everything they have into it. The coach and staff puts everything they've got into it, and it just makes me proud to live in Alma, Georgia, with how much support that our community gives. And again, I would stack it to any program around. You know, in per capita, our population and size of school, I would say that we do as well as any program in the state.
In the state,
Absolutely,
I believe it, Joe. And a lot of support through the football boosters, the Red Raider Touchdown Club. Individuals have stepped up this year and really helped out and really made a big push in the community again for that support. Looks like our guys are lining up down here. I'm gonna have to tap on the door and get Joe to fire the music up.
Well, Brent, you know, you're right. We have new officers and everything in the Touchdown Club. Mr. Larry Taylor, he is our new president. John Hughes is the vice president. Lisa Hughes is the the treasurer, and Heath Carver is the secretary. And with that kind of help and support, it's really went a long way. We have been able to reach out to a lot of people and make a lot of influential people want to step up and help support our program, and especially with these people getting involved. And you know, it helps. There's so many times, you know, there's very few people working, so it makes all of our jobs a little bit easier to make Red Raider football a little more special. But with the new coaching staff, you know, this new tradition we have that's starting right now, this Raider Walk, I'm really excited about this, Brent.
Oh, man, we hadn't seen this in several years,
Yep.
and it really pumps up the players.
It does.
And, you know, pumps up the fans. I think we're going to have a few more fans to come in the stands, kind of like last week before this after this game gets going. But I think I don't know if you mentioned the weather a moment ago. There's possibility of chance of rain and thunderstorms in our area, and hopefully that won't keep too many folks away. Had a tremendous crowd last week, and we anticipate another one. But this is something right here. Let's just kind of sit here and watch for just a minute or so. And you can see these guys coming down on our camera shot here. Coach Goss leads the way.
And it's really big, too, to interact with your family and, and some of these small kids, Brent, to see these players walk by, it's a pretty special moment.
It absolutely. And behind the players, right as they come in the fence, we're going to see probably 50 or 60 people going to follow the boys in where they literally congregated there and met them as they walk through. A lot of the student body will fill up down here. We got a student section that sits beside the band. Another tradition that I've never seen, at least on a consistent basis, where you have the band on the field lining up, making a tunnel for the boys as they run through the gate, as you want to call it,
the banner.
The banner, and sorry, and it's just neat,
It is.
Just starting or recreating some old traditions, and that's what a coach will do when when he comes in, and
this will grow, Brent. As the season goes, all the fans are getting used to it still, so it's still something very new and very fresh. So as we continue on with the games this season, we'll see more and more people gather down there to greet our Red Raiders and welcome them into the Big Red Monster.
Speaking of that, the Raiders are going to run through. Well, we're not sure where their players are.
Yeah, I think they're waiting on the captains. I know they have our captains. I saw the referees there. I see their captains over there. There's Brantley County behind the visitor stands. They're actually coming in now.
Well, Joe, take a moment and mention you mentioned some of the tremendous support in our community. There's 4. I think the Touchdown Club calls platinum sponsors.
That's right. The most visible that you and I can see. Definitely, we've got the best seats in the house.
Absolutely.
Right here, Brent. Yes, so Bacon County Touchdown Club has 4 very unique levels of sponsorship, or 4 slots at a unique level of sponsorship. We have a platinum level. It's our highest level of support that a business or a person can give. They can always give more, but it's the highest category that will put you at the platinum level. Bacon County Health, or Bacon County Hospital and Health System, I can't begin to tell you how important they are to our community. To have such a great hospital and health system here in Bacon County. And, I had to go the other day. It's kind of funny. One of my children stuck a little tiny thing, a little bead from a bracelet up their nose. And to be able to go to the emergency room, and, man, they popped that thing out in like 2 seconds. And, she was screaming bloody murder there for a minute. But as soon as it come out, she was just smiling and laughing. And, it just warms my heart to know the doctors and the staff and the nurses and the administration of that hospital is just huge. And then we also have Parker Food Mart, another just great establishment to this community. Local people, actually I believe 2 of the owners played football here at Bacon County.
Did.
Even their son played football here at Bacon County. And they just really take pride in Red Raider football, and just an important part of our community. All the workers go there, fill up with fuel. They got some of the best food in town. I'm telling you what, their fried pork chops, the pizza. I can go on. And my wife, her favorite thing is the baby tater tots.
That's right.
Or the baby potato wedges. And my boys, they go there. They get the Slurpees. They get the fountain drinks and pack of chewing gum, and all the kids love it. But just a quality food mart and gas station, good people, good vibe. I enjoy going in there every time that I go by. And then the last 2 is Industrial Forge and Blueberry Plantation Inn and Country Club. Mr. Ted Murray, he is the owner of both of those establishments, and it just I don't even know where to begin. Brent, he's one of the most generous people in our community. He loves Red Raider football. He loves Bacon County. He loves Alma, Georgia. He does so much for the kids and the youth in our community. It's just unbelievable. And Industrial Forge, what they do there is they're a specialty nut and bolt business, and he's got a unique story. He was lived in Florida, and he come up here to Georgia and was looking to buy a farm, and his car broke down, and while his car was getting fixed, he stayed here in Alma, Georgia, and ended up liking the area, and ended up moving his entire company here.
Yeah.
It's a very special company. They make nuts and bolts like you can't go to the hardware store and get. Let's say like a nuclear submarine, the nuclear reactor, they have nuts and bolts that hold that, and it has to be special nuts and bolts that do it. So,
and made out of specific types of material and at a specific percentage.
High grade stuff. And then Blueberry Plantation Inn and Country Club, and I'm going to try to wrap this up so we can get it kicked off here. I know I'm interrupting kind of what's going to take place, but Blueberry Plantation, man, Brent, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, just unbelievable. It makes you think of a bed and breakfast, but it is a high-end, upper-scale, almost like a resort. It's like a mini resort, right here in Alma, Georgia, Bacon County. Mr. Ted built. Got a phenomenal golf course, and here come our Raiders, man, making Bacon County proud. And these boys, they've been working hard, and that's why these guys out there on the field, why they support Bacon County football. And we want to continue to thank them, help their businesses grow here in Bacon County, and again, because if we help their businesses grow, they help our program grow.
That's right, Joe. And it's all black tonight for the Raiders. Red helmet, which we went back to last year, which I love. The BC logo is not on there yet. It will be next week when we make that drive to Fitzgerald.
And he's making them earn those BC logos. That's something that Coach is kind of doing there. They got to earn that BC logo. So,
well, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. You're going to see tonight a disciplined Red Raider team. We're most likely tonight you'll see. We saw them warming up. Brantley's some big boys, just like the biggest ATCO team I've seen last week. We will be outmanned as far as size-wise most of the season long, but we got some kids that are stronger, that are athletic, and they're going to be disciplined. And
I'm curious to see. I don't know that we're going to be out-hearted because our boys play hard. We're fighters. We don't give up. They played, gave it everything they had for 4 quarters last week, Brent.
And if you've spent any time around the new coaching staff, they're very excitable.
They are.
Guys, these are guys that's going to not only just get in their face, but they're going to encourage them, and they're going to coach them up on the sideline, and it's just fun to watch.
Yep.
And I can't go any further, Joe. I'm really late about talking about BCTV's. No, you're fine. Our 2019, the Red Raider Broadcasting, our title sponsors for the whole year, everything we do, football, baseball, softball, basketball. I want to thank Coda Electric and Plumbing Supply, Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales, Family Vision Care, Burt's CPAs, brand new this year, and the Wheeler Agency. That's Mr. Mike Wheeler. I'm going to talk more specifically about each one of those as the night progresses. But here we go. We're going to kick this thing off. I'm not sure what the rules and regulations for this game is, but last week there was no returns, and we can probably tell pretty quick that there's probably not – oh, there's going to be returns. Okay. This is
live.
Live.
There we go.
And a host of Raiders there, 15 on the return, 22 for the Red Raiders, and 7. I got me some binoculars tonight, Joe. So if I call out a number, maybe you can call the kid's name. I'm not quite familiar with all the names and numbers.
Yeah, and I'm still learning too. Some of their numbers change. So Brent, the same thing. I kind of got to get used to it, and but hopefully we'll do a good job for Raider Nation and all of the listeners out there.
That's right. Don't have a roster for Brantley tonight. There's a handoff over that right side. And again, I say another host of Raiders off that right tackle, 77 in on the tackle, and number 6 came up.
So it looks like, Brantley has got some bigger guys, but I think they're playing some of the guys that are pretty big that are a little more athletic. So they're not playing their biggest guys that I see standing on the sideline.
That's right.
And I'm sure that will change on, like, third and shorts. And but Brantley actually last year did very well and had a strong push in the region.
Nice tackle there by was that 6?
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9 is
C.J.
C.J.
Preston,
Boy,
linebacker.
he got in there, and I'm talking about waist level, just hit old pile driver.
Just textbook. Linebackers is 35 and
spear.
9.
That's what he did, Brent. He did the old spear on him.
Garrett Sears is number 35, the linebacker. Another handoff to the fullback, and he's got had a head of steam. Kind of caught our linebacker on his heels that time, but again, it's a big man coming running downhill. It's going to be a second down and a long 4. Looks like
Brent, that fullback, he looks to be about 6'1" or 2, and probably about 245, 250.
Yeah, every bit of it, Joe.
So Red Raiders are going to have to get low here and start making some of these tackles below the waist, because you're not going to go high on him.
Got to wrap that up. Again, some things that are fixable. Had an opportunity, number 4, and I will say this. I'm not calling him out. I'm just being serious. You talking about he's a fine young man. Number 4, he in and out of the classroom, but he's a basketball player that's converted to football this year.
That's right, Tamarcus
Pruitt.
Yep.
And this kid's got a lot of athleticism. He's still learning the game, and that's something that can be corrected at practice.
I was super excited when I saw that he come out this season, Brent, because he's one of my favorite players to watch on the basketball
Absolutely.
court.
Oh, we're going to have an offsides there on the Raiders. That's going to give them a 1st and 5, I believe. We had several of those last week. We needed to try. We're going to have to try and clean up.
Yep.
Just some things that you can't do against region opponents.
And it's just a little bit of nerves. And like I said, we've still got a lot of young guys on this team, Brent. So, we got an uphill battle, but, with the coaching staff that we have in place, Brent, I am as comfortable as I've been in a long while.
I just think we're only going to get better, Joe.
That's right.
And that's the only thing you can ask is just to gradually get a little better and stay competitive. And I think that's what I was very optimistic coming after last week's game. Me and you talked earlier in the week.
That's on them, Brent.
False start.
Yep.
So we're going to come back. It'll be 1st and 10. Try it again. So a little nerves.
They actually have – I felt like they jumped, especially – I believe it's their tight end. It's like he's jumped every single time, but they haven't called it every single time.
It's going to be 1st and 10 back on the 33-yard line. And there we go again, but no call. I guess they said they got the snap. It's going to be about a 4.5-yard gain there up to about the 29.
Brantley's just playing good old-fashioned downhill run football here.
They threw it out in the flat one time there. Well, you run till the defense stops it. You don't want to give too much on film this time of the season. These scrimmage games. Both teams, especially them, they was wanting to get this game in. They got Charlton County next week to open up the regular season.
Yeah, this time of the year, you're just working on your tackles and guards, queuing off their keys and what they're doing.
Good tackle there by 35 off the edge, and that's Sears.
Yep.
Back down by number 35, Garrett Sears, the 3rd down.
It's going to be a big 3rd down here for the Herons. 3rd and a long 2, almost 3.
About 2.5, a good 2.5. You're right, we'll round that up.
8:22 on the clock in the first. I tell you what, the first quarter's going by a lot quicker than it did last week.
It sure is. It's ticking on down.
It took 35, almost 40. It was about 45 minutes it took that first quarter last week. Penalties and this and that and the other.
Well, that'll help us out right there, Brent.
The false start again. It's going to be 3rd and almost 8 now for the Herons. Hadn't played the Herons in about 6 years.
I know it's been a while since actually back at the Mojo. The last time that we played them, we have not played them in this new stadium. We went over there.
And it rained us out, didn't it?
That's right.
Rained us out.
But we have not played them here. Last time we played them here was in the Mojo.
And
he
hands
got
it off.
him. Get him down.
Looks like he's going to stop short.
Who come off the edge over there? It's like we pulled everybody in on defense and tightened it up.
Yeah, they dispersed before I could get a number there.
Now to see what Brantley does here.
Yeah, depends on what kind of field goal kicker they got.
Yeah.
They're likely going to go for it. They'll probably line up in that. Was that a wishbone, Joe, they
Yes.
were in? See if the Raiders can bow their backs here. It'd be a huge stop.
Brantley isn't really firing off the ball quickly, but so far they're making some pretty good blocks.
They do hand it off. He's going to break through for the first down. Got past that first level.
Now what we need, Brent, here is a good old-fashioned turnover.
That's right. Tackled by Sears. And we were fortunate last week. You know,
Yes.
one thing I was proud of is we didn't turn the ball over.
That's right.
And we forced, or they coughed it up 3 times, and we took advantage of that. And sometimes you got to do that. And that's the things we're going to have to do this season.
Yep.
And especially when we get the meat of our region schedule. And we'll talk about our schedule a little bit more, again, as the game progresses. 7:21, clock stopped.
Looks like they're keying to the left here.
They're going to
Yep.
quarterback keeper.
pulls it.
And he's probably going to end up with about 3 yards as he falls forward. But not bad containment there. Again, tell you what, Sears has been in on a lot of tackles.
He sure has.
He's either –
Well, Coach said this week that we would be making a few changes at the linebacker position, and that's a new key in there. And so far he's been in on just about every play, Brent.
I tell you who somebody else that you're gonna hear his name called a lot this year, because he ain't afraid to put his helmet on somebody, and that's just Cameron Crawford. Now,
Oh, absolutely.
He ain't real big, but he put on a little weight since last year, but the boy ain't scared.
And his muscle to fat ratio has got to be Brantley. Oh, no, they're going to say he was down. So
Yeah, it's going to be completed pass down to about the 1, maybe 1.5 yard line. Sometimes you get out schemed, and that was the play. You know, as a quarterback faked the handoff, rolled out, and hits the, I don't know if it's a split in there or the wide receiver crossing.
Who went out? I was watching still on this left side. I've been keying in over there. That we've had some pretty good matchups over here. There's been some good little physical contact at the line of scrimmage over here.
And initially we stuffed it, and he gave him the touchdown. After the lean in right there, and it's going to be 6-0 Herons with 5:50 on the clock.
Well, Brent, that was just a long, methodical drive down the field. And that's something I know our defensive coordinator will try to adjust here to. That we got to do better at stopping, and we'll see how we adjust to it.
Well, again, we talked earlier in the week. A couple things here. We make a tackle behind the line of scrimmage here, and another play. Just some fundamental things that are fixable. It's not like we were just outmanned on that drive. It was just some things that we just got to clean up.
And another thing, for our audience out there listening that we have to understand, again, this is a new coaching staff.
That's right.
And so you have a new defense and a new offense. So it takes a little time to, just as Ware did last night. Coach Strickland, new coach at Ware County, phenomenal coach, known throughout the state. They offensively, they struggle getting the wheels turning.
That's right.
And but it was one heck of a physical football game. They just couldn't get the wheels going, and that will come in time.
Sure.
With the athletes they have, and the same with us. It will come. So our players are learning more and more each week, day by day. So we will continue to get better with this.
Again, this is you're going to see a kickoff. Just joining us, I want to welcome you to the NFHS Network, powered by Play on Sports, brought to you by BCTV's Red Raider Broadcasting. My name is Brent Johnson, along with Joe Hayes. Red Raider football, and last week we weren't returning kickoffs, but this week we are. So a little more contact, and let's see what happens here on the return. And we got a little space.
Yep.
Oh, but they closed it up nicely. The Herons did. Saw a little something there.
That one little hesitation, and it's amazing how one step can they can close the gap pretty quick.
Number 1, Tyquez Brinson, and boy, is he fun to watch on the basketball court.
Absolutely.
You talk about a mini mouse, a mighty mouse is sort of what, because, oh boy, there goes the lightning. That's the lightning horn.
Yep.
That means the football players and cheerleaders and band, they have to leave the field, and it's optional. It's recommended by the folks in the stands to do that. But the good news is, Joe, is we don't have to wait, say, 30 minutes that we used to have to.
Right.
As soon as that buzzer goes off again, it could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We can start back. But I look over the horizon there, and we see some blue, some dark blue back toward Brantley County, as a matter of fact. So I'm not sure. There may not be a drop of rain tonight, but there could be, again, that lightning within, I believe it's somewhere around a 7 mile radius. You think?
And this is just really this time of year, Brent. It's heat lightning.
Sure.
And unfortunately, it triggers that thing. And I know it's aggravating and frustrating to a lot of people, but ultimately, child safety, that's our number one goal here. And, we've heard about it in Texas and Florida and Oklahoma and
that's right.
Ohio.
And everybody says it won't happen to us.
No, you're right.
Until it does.
Until it does. And we just don't want that to happen here. So, we got to do what's right and let's get them off the
That's
field.
right. Protect these kids. We're going to take a quick break, honor some sponsors. We're going to come back one more time and wrap a couple things up, and then we're probably going to take a break along with this lightning delay, and stay with us. Or if you log off, just come back. I'm not going to go off air at this moment. We're going to kind of play it by ear and see what happens. But we're going to take a real quick break and be back in just a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still with us, again, we're going to kind of wrap things up here until we come back from this weather delay, and that's what we're on. It's a lightning delay, I would say. Really not any weather over us. We can see some over the horizon, and if it's within 7 miles, that detector will pick it up. And, again, we'll be back. I'm going to stay live on this feed for a while, and we'll just see how it goes. So just kind of hang tight with us, or you can log off. You're on your phone, your computer, and you can come back and check periodically. But please do, if you're a subscriber and you're just hang in there with us. And we're going to see if obviously the coaches are going to see if we can get this thing in this evening. The more practice, the better. We feel like we're prepared for the regular season. I want to continue to thank our sponsors. I want to run down the list as well for not just the platinum sponsors for the Red Raider Touchdown Club, but the gold as well. Joe has already mentioned and talked briefly about what those businesses provide our community and how they support it. That's Bacon County Hospital System, Industrial Forge, Blueberry Plantation Inn and Country Club, Parker's Food Mart, but there's these others, these gold sponsorships. You'll recognize these guys and gals as well. That's Access ATC or ATC, Titan Modular, Daniel and Cassie Moore, Larry Waters Properties, Pineland Bank, State Farm, FNB South, Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales, Clean Air and Electric, Burt CPAs, Southside Church of God, and Lassiter Tractor Company. I want to thank them for joining the Red Raider Touchdown Club and supporting these athletes on the field, providing them. And Joe, you talked just a few minutes about what type of things does this monetary donation help provide for these kids week in and week out?
So, Brent, when a company or an individual makes a donation to the Touchdown Club or the football program, we have certain perks that come with their level of sponsorship, and they get season tickets where they're allowed to come in and sit in these back chairs and get polos that are only given out to our Touchdown Club members. So if someone sees them in the community wearing that they'll know that they are big sponsors of the program. And so there's a lot of perks that come with it, the advertising and things of that nature. But the other side of it is, how does it help the kids? And there's so much people don't realize, Brent, what it takes to put on a successful football program. And I don't even know where to begin, but, let's start with food. We've started a program here where we try to feed kids all year long. And we feed them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We get them protein bars, protein shakes, and we're trying to provide extra supplement of protein and food daily for them throughout the entire year, and all that costs money. I think there was one year we spent probably like $9,000 on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And to say how much a company can help us, now we have a connection with the peanut butter factory. And we get all our peanut butter for free, so that's a huge savings. And, our coaching staff makes those. We have moms that come down and make them, so we don't have to pay for people to, come down and make these for us. And but the food is probably one of the biggest things where it helps out to keep these players fed and keep good nutrition in their bodies. And just like today for game day, this morning, we cooked a breakfast. We had grits, sausage, bacon, eggs, biscuits, and all that was donated. D.L. Lee and Sons donated the bacon and sausage, and Taylor Egg Farms donated the eggs for us, and Mr. Vance Burkett, one of our school board members, he paid for the rest, the orange juice, the biscuits and the grape jelly and the butter and the salt and all the other stuff that goes with eating the breakfast, and he paid for that. But then we feed them a pregame meal, and then we feed them a meal after the game tonight. So that's where, again, these dollars are going. Another thing is gear in uniforms. It's a very important part of having good equipment, good things to work with, good training tools. And, uniforms are not cheap. People think that you can go buy a brand new set of uniforms and probably spend $2,000-$3,000, and that don't even touch the surface. Typically when you buy a new set of uniforms, you buy two different colors. Whatever your what do you call it, Brent? Your primary color. Like ours is red, and then for away games you wear white. And all schools have to do that. So if you buy new uniforms, you could spend anywhere from $18,000 to $20-something thousand just for new jerseys.
That's right.
And
cleats, socks,
cleats, and all that stuff.
And then you got the upkeep of all your pads.
That's right.
And they're not cheap.
No,
helmets reconditioned every year.
Every year, GHSA has mandated rules, and they're in place for certain reasons to protect against concussions. And every single year, we have to send those helmets off. They have to get recertified. And if they don't pass the inspection, then we have to buy new helmets to replace them. And they're not $50 and $80 a pop. They're $300 a piece. Yeah. So if you've got to buy 20 new helmets, then, you can do the math on that. It adds up really fast.
Really quickly.
Yes.
And I know firsthand, I've done some coaching in the past, and I've been a part of the boosters for years. And I in the fact that I'm in the system, in the school system, I see little things that people in the community, I know if people, heard or, about, the type of money that's raised for football boosters, and golly, that's a lot of money for football. But what that does is, and I've seen it firsthand, is it frees up money for the school system to be able to pour in more money, gate money from football and other ticketed sports like basketball, which is the second leading as far as bringing in money for athletic department, and baseball and softball are ticketed events, but all those secondary, what you would call a secondary sport, not to make it less than any of the rest, but you got the tennis, the golf that doesn't bring money in is basically what I'm saying. It frees up money that the athletic department can spend on these other what we call a minor sport for tennis balls, golf balls. Those types of things for those other sports and those
Brent,
other kids.
I try to preach that, out there to the community, and the more successful that football is, just because it's so big in our country and in our town, the more success, like you say, it can help support the other programs.
And that's the truth. That is the truth. And you can you can prove it and justify it on paper.
Yes.
Just with statistics.
For example, and I'm just going to throw one out there, just like, say, Pierce County, big time rivalry for us. It's a non-region matchup. They're 3A, we're 2A size school, so it's a non-region game. But because they're our neighboring community, it's like arch rivals. And this goes back to like the 50s when, Bacon County first started football, and they used to be a region opponent.
That's right.
And
it goes all the way back to Patterson.
It does.
Bacon played Patterson before there was a Pierce County.
That's right. That's right. And so the history goes way back, but it's always it's a big event. It's a big game.
It's here this year.
Yes. And people come in here, and, the gate on that game will be, $28,000. So that gate money will go into the athletic fund. They still have to pay the referees. There's certain fees that it takes to put on a football game, but the majority of that money will go into an athletic fund. And, when each sport gets their supplements, when they start up, when it's time for basketball, the school gives them startup money. That's where it all, the majority comes from. And I'm not saying basketball doesn't raise money or baseball doesn't either. It's just not the amount, level of what football is. And it's
or the cost. Like I said,
and a lot of it is you just can't fit 4,000 people in a gymnasium.
That's
in
right.
our gymnasium.
That's right.
Not saying any gym, but our gymnasium. You're not going to. 4,000 people are not showing up at the baseball game, but 4,000 people will come to a football game.
And you're supporting. When you talk about a football team, even at a AA level, even though we're sort of at the bottom end of a AA right now. You're talking to average about 40 to 50 kids versus a basketball team that may carry 12 or 13, a baseball team that may carry 15 kids that you're spending money on, and their uniforms aren't cheap, and their equipment either. But it's the sheer amount that you're having to deal with, and the extra things that you got to keep on hand for anyway. So I think you got hopefully you got an idea. Those of you out there that you stayed with us and you're listening, and maybe you already see the bigger picture when it comes to those types of things. But being able to raise money for a football program, and it just from the community, it just opens up so many other doors. Really, and bottom line is monetary for other athletic programs and that includes middle school.
Well, Brent, and here's the backside to all that. Where does the money go? What does it support? Well, what are we necessarily getting out of this at the end of the day? And at the end of the day, all our programs here at Bacon County, in today's time, when you and I grew up, I worked in the tobacco patch every summer.
Yep.
And because of new labor laws and everything, kids today can't be 13 and 14 and 15 and 16 years old and go work in the tobacco patch or the blueberries. So there's certain laws against that. If they're a family member, and that's, their dad owns the farm, they can go out there and work. But not every student in Bacon County, does their parent own a farm? So it's difficult for them to find certain degrees of employment. And, a lot of people today talk about this generation of our kids. They play video games and whatnot. But, I encourage my kids. I say, you're going to do something. I don't care if you're on the chess team,
That's right.
if you're in the band or the cheerleading. You are going to choose something. You are going to be part of something. And that's what I love about Bacon County Athletics is I've seen so many kids come through this program. And Brent, just some off the top of my head, I think of Drell Green and Tron Folsom that went on to play at the college level and have done really big things and really exciting things. And there's so many more that have. And there's softball players that have went to play at college. We got one this year that's going to Georgia Southern. And just so many of our kids are involved in different athletic events. But I see it change their lives. But what makes me even more proud is to see the fundamentals that they're learning in these sports teach them how to be a good dad and a good citizen, and the things that we learn of the work ethic in the tobacco patch. And that's where kids today have to get it. Mm-hmm. And if we don't push it and we don't encourage it, it's our responsibility as a community. I look at when I was raised, man, my neighbors, if I went down there and got out of line, my neighbor would snatch me back in line.
That's right.
Because the community looked out for each other, and we as Bacon County have to look out for our children, and we have to give them avenues to be successful. And I think of help me out here, some names, Brent. I'm trying to think. Washington that went in the Army. Who's the ones we just had that joined the Marines, and all of a sudden I hit him Nacio Washington. And,
big man.
Yeah, big man. I was saying, do I say big man online?
Yeah,
but we all know him by big man. And but there's so many, that being a veteran myself, Brent, that just makes me proud.
Legondrick Snell,
Yes.
even
Legondrick
more recently.
Snell. I mean, we can go here. There's so many. We just
T.J. Ham just went, and Isaiah Grant. They're at Paris Island right now.
I think he went to school with you, or maybe he was a hair older than you. He just retired from the Army. He was a running back. What's his
Linder.
name? Yes. Scott. Is it Scott?
Scotty was his older brother. Michael Linder.
Michael Linder. Here he's put in 20 years to our country and made that ultimate sacrifice. And he was a Red Raider.
Yeah, he was a three-sport athlete. He played baseball, basketball, and football, and he was fun to watch.
What more do we want, Brent? That's what this does, and that's what this creates, and it's why I want to give it everything I've got. I want to give 100% of what I can and all my efforts into this because I see it changing children's lives.
Yeah.
I see it changing our community's lives. I see it changing kids' lives in the hallway. They see these other kids, these football players that are joining the Army and joining the Navy. And you know what? Maybe I didn't play football, but Legondrick, he joined, and I think I want to go join too, and maybe I can do this. And just that, because he looked up to that kid because he was an athlete, and he's making good decisions now. And it just, success breeds success.
Well, Joe, I appreciate all this input. We're going to take a break. I'm here monitoring on my phone here. We're still at a stage 5. It's really like a 1 through 10 alert. Still in a red alert, and I do see some activity that's actually we're looking east of us, and we can see some of the cloud, but I think it may be actually detecting some of what's north of us that we really can't see much of.
See out of here
on north of us. But we're gonna take a break here for until we come back live. I may shoot an alert out on my Facebook. If you're not part of our Facebook page or our group, just do a search for BCTV Red Raider Broadcasting, BCTV Red Raider, anything like that. It should come up. Ask to join, and I will invite you, and you can get some updates and alerts on those types of things. Joe shoots stuff out on the football booster side. I'm sure
That's Bacon County Red Raider Football on Facebook.
Bacon County Red Raider Football, one of the two. Joe will probably shoot some alerts, maybe get an idea of when we get a time when we're going to get this thing started back, if we can. But we are going to take a quick break. I want to audibly recognize my title sponsors one more time. That's Coley Electric and Plumbing Supply. Miss Lisa Coley, you talk about a hometown hero, Joe. This lady, when you go and ask, 9 times out of 10, there's sometimes that she has to say no, and I've had that conversation with her before. But she helps. But she also, and just like me, I encourage you to go and visit her store when you have a electrical or plumbing or appliance need. Let's shop local, folks, because these local people are the ones that are supporting our kids.
That's right.
And it's not just about high school athletics. It's about from recreation all the way to varsity level sports. And it's clubs like FFA and my TSA and other things that goes on in our community. Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales, Mr. Andy Cawthorn.
Before you go there,
okay.
and I'm going to say this one thing. You was talking about Miss Lisa Coley and how important these businesses are. You know, my well broke down, tore up, whatever you want to call it. It was Sunday. Brent, I have 7 children. I've got a bunch of small children, and water is important at my house. Like, you know, it's almost like being able to wash clothes.
That's right.
You can build a mountain in a hurry, but you know, if Lowe's is closed, do you think Lowe's will open their doors on Sunday afternoon after they close at 6 o'clock? If my well breaks down at 8 o'clock at night, Lowe's is not going to send an employee down there to go open it up for me and give me a part that I need. And I tell you what, Miss Lisa Coley left church and come to her store and open it up for me and got me a part so that I could get up and going. And that speaks volumes.
That's
Brent.
hometown.
That is hometown.
That is hometown business.
That's why we support it right
That's right.
there.
And Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales. You talk about another hometown guy.
I buy all my vehicles from him.
Boy, and I absolutely. I bought my last 5 or 6. I've recounted and getting ready to possibly make another purchase in the near future. You know, this guy, he sells used cars. That's what he prides himself on. But you can get new cars from him as well. He's right down here on US 1 South. I'll plug Burnett as well as Terry's Vinyl Siding right there too. They're all right there together. But I want to thank Mr. Andy. He was a 3-sport star back in his day, and for Bacon County, and he's been back in Alma selling cars for almost 15 years now, and we're thankful to have him and part of our Red Raider broadcasting. And he's been with us since the beginning. Family Vision Care. That's Dr. Hutto and McQuaig. That's a household name, McQuaig. When you talk about vision care in Alma, but Dr. Hutto, I talked to him today, and I told him again. And I wasn't shooting him a line. I said, man, you know, you're really you set an example for our kids, our youth, because you went off, became a professional, a doctor of optometry, and you came back to Alma and you decided to work. And that's an example that our kids can take and be a part of. They know they can come back here and make something of themselves and establish a business, professional business if they choose to. And I was just proud for him and proud for his company being a part of what we're doing. And so the newbies on the block, Burt CPAs, and they've got offices all over the place: Baxley, Alma, Waycross, Nashville, and specifically Mr. Larry Taylor locally. I'll give a shout out to him being a part of our Red Raider broadcasting, and I want to thank them for that. And finally, Mr. Mike Wheeler, another guy who's been present here in Alma, Bacon County for years and years and years. Born and raised here, went off to UGA for a few years, but came back.
Big basketball star back in the day.
That's right. The Wheeler Agency, country financial provider. Got my life insurance stuff with him, and like so many other people. He also provides home and auto. I encourage you to go by and talk with him if you're looking to compare prices. But just a Red Raider. All these people are just Red Raiders through and through, and I thank them for joining us. And again, we're going to take a break here. Just bear with us on the weather delay, and
hopefully we'll be back soon.
Hopefully we'll be back soon.